Okay, so today I thought that I'd make a video, maybe talking about how to achieve a certain thing in spinning, maybe a technique or something. And I sort of thought about this, and I thought, what do I do myself that other people might want to learn? That thing I thought about was long draw. Today I'm going to talk about long draw from this, which is merino top. Merino top is a coned preparation, meaning that all the fibres are in the same direction. So I can pull some fibres out here, and you'll notice they lay in a straight line. They're all in the same direction. So to go, this top itself, before I start, is actually slightly compacted. I think for this type of spinning, it can help when you're first learning to use a slightly more compacted top, as it just sort of helps order it a bit better. Now, when I spin from top like this, I sort of grab the end of the top and tug and pull out maybe, that must be about 6-inch strip of top there. Now, if I'm going to do a long draw is a draft by where the twist is maintained in your drafting zone. So you're not like the worsted draft where you're sort of pinching the twist out like this and sort of stopping it from entering your fibre supply. Your twist is constantly in the yarn and you're constantly twisting. So the way I like to do this so I can get a nice level of control and a fairly decent consistency with my yarn is to join it into the centre, like I'm doing here. So then I end up with this. This is where it's joined, here where my two fingers are. See, can you see that there? Then I fold it in half, the actual piece of fibre, so you end up with this piece of fibre folded in half. I place it in my hand here and have it so I can, I'll show you, have the piece of fibre, so it's folded in my hand there, and I can control the fibre by pinching with my thumb and my first finger. So that is how I'm going to spin from it. That's how I'm going to hold the fibre in my hand. Now, wheel-wise, I'm spinning on, in case you don't know, this is a schacht matchless. I'm in Scotch tension at the moment. So, and I'm on a ratio of 19:1. I have the high-speed whirl on. And I have pipe lagging on my bobbin, and that's just to slow down the drafting speed. So, I'm just going to join on a few fibres here. I'm then going to open my hands and allow some twist into these fibres, pinch, and slightly pull back. I'll show you that again. I'm going to build up a bit of twist here, then I'm going to allow twist into my drafting zone. I'm going to pinch here and pull my yarn out. That just stretches it, and then keep twisting to add strength. This front hand is basically regulating some of the twist, acting as a pivot point for my yarn. And this is a technique it's practice more than anything. I mean, the fibre is working nicely, and because it's slightly compacted, it draws out that little bit easier. So, I mean, the yarn I'm getting at the moment is fairly fine. 2-plied. Let's grab this and have a look. I mean, that's fairly fine. That's probably commercial. Let's think. It's probably about 18, 20 wraps per inch plied. So I mean, it's not overly thick. You don't have to spin thick yarn with long draw. And so I'm just adding twist. So let me show you again. Here is my fibre supply. There is now. I'm adding twist, drafting back. I now get some slightly thicker yarn. If I don't want my yarn this thick, I can pull, pinch off here at the fibre supply, keep twisting, and draw back. That will thin out your yarn. Then with this finger here, All I'm doing is using it as a pivot to regulate slightly the amount of twist going into the fibre. You don't need to have a death grip. In fact, with my right hand, which is the drafting hand, it's very counterproductive to have what you might call the traditional long draw death grip, worsted draw death grip, because your fibre can't pull out properly. It's going to be stuck by your hand. So this front hand doesn't have to pinch again like your worsted death grip. It can. I just sort of pivot mine and keep it pivoting and pinch just gently. It doesn't need to be anything too strong. And this technique, as I said, is about practice, feel, how it feels to you, and eventually you find that with practice, it sort of just locks into place, and you're able to make very nice quality woolen yarn. It doesn't take a massive amount of practice to be able to make nice long draw yarn, but it does take. It's not going to happen overnight. So let's grab some of this yarn, bring it up so you can see. So these are my singles, and if I let them twist together, I end up with a yarn that's springy, and also it's quite fine. This will have airiness in it. And also, something else to talk about, do not worry if your yarn looks horrible, inconsistent, and just generally of bad quality. That's going to be rectified when you end up finishing. So take your yarn, ply it, overply. I would slightly overply a woolen spun yarn, skein it, and when you wash it, I'd slightly full it. So sort of put it into hot water with a small bit of washing up liquid, swoosh it around a bit, then put it straight into cold water, and that sort of fools it a bit, and give it a ping. And when you dry it, you'll be quite surprised at the difference. For example, let me show you. I spun recently some alpaca yarn. This is from a 15 micron alpaca fleece. I was spinning this. I thought it was very, very inconsistent, and I wasn't at all happy with it. And then when I came to the fulling, I ended up with nice, fairly even yarn. And this for alpaca, which has not really very much, it's very sort of drapey, this has actually got some spring to it. And when I thought it would come out much thicker than it did, it's actually come out fairly thin. So give Longdraw a go, see how it works for you, and I hope you find the video entertaining. Thanks.